Hey, Diana, can you pop up the name of the new member? If at all possible. I forgot it. Where is that? Oh, Crystal Henhawk, 8054. Thank you. You're good. All right. Let's see what's going on here. Hello, everyone. How are you guys? Looks like I'm sorry on TikTok that everything is this crooked. Let me see if I can fix it a little bit. There's not a whole lot I could do about it today. There's Ezzy. The most important thing of the whole show. Meow. I know. All right, you guys. That really didn't help anything at all. But I have to, I only have so much room to run the camera angles. And I see Instagram's a little weird too. I could try to fix that. But so I try to take turns with weird camera angles. So it's not always Instagram that's crooked, or it's always TikTok that's crooked. Okay. And that's the best solution I've come up with so far. Let me see if I can fix this a little bit. Oh, I kind of wanted that actually. Yeah, it's a little bit better. There you go. All right. So welcome, everyone. It is what it is. Okay. As long as you can hear me, that's the most important thing. So welcome TikTok. Welcome Instagram. Good to see everyone. I appreciate you being here. Welcome everyone on YouTube. And this is the Unbound Sage. So you're going to be dropping your $10 donation, and I'm going to deliver out to you whatever is the most important message for you to hear at this time. I do want to make a couple quick announcements while you guys tune in. First of all, shout out to my YouTube members. If you want to become a YouTube member, you can go onto my channel at Ask Ivy the Medium, click the join button. It'll show you the 3 different tiers of membership options. Thank you for the hearts on TikTok. And my YouTube members are getting things like a monthly horoscope, a private email reading, which literally pays for the whole thing itself, an Ask Ivy exclusive show, monthly mini class, weekly spirit messages, a bunch of fun stuff. All right, so thank you so much. Crystal Henhawk, 8054, Nature Calls You, Terry Cruz, Angie Johnson, Lucy Marsh, McKenna, Jennifer Cole, Jennifer Barone, Abby Hicks, Stella Marie, Yolanda Fisher, Kim Elizabeth, Denise Bennett, Jayla Hilly, Edgar Villardes, Melissa S., Christine Watts, Miami Heat 305-ish, CJG, Shauna Dempsey, Demetris, Language Through Connection, Deanna Marie, Marae D, Chicken Mama, Tristan Marion, Me Love 716, Andrea M, and Vanessa. I appreciate you guys a ton. I have coming up a couple quick announcements. Psychic Mediumship course has begun. So next week is class number 2. And that is one of the 7 or 8 open to the public classes that I offer. So the Psychic Mediumship course will occasionally be open where others can join us. And next week is my empathic awareness class. So registration is now open for February 10th. Yeah. All right. And the empathic awareness training breaks down the 4 different levels of empathic ability. It educates you on what the ability is and how you're receiving the information, how to control it so it's not controlling you. So a lot of typical disorders that are associated with high empathic ability, misdiagnoses and whatnot include things like chronic migraines, insomnia, depression, anxiety disorders, in particular social anxiety, irritable bowel syndrome, ADHD-like symptoms, and a whole bunch of other things. So you're going to want to get in touch, all right, with your empathic ability and understand how to control it. I have been teaching this at universities and public school systems. I train therapists, doctors, educators, parents, neurodivergence, and empaths of all levels for 15 years. All right. So you can do this from the comfort of your own home. 2-hour training. Get registered now. Again, it's called Empathic Awareness. Now, we also have a couple weeks after that, and registration is also open as of today for that. We have, Meet Your Guides on March 3rd and Coffee with Your Angels on March 10th. Okay, so when we talk about the Meet Your Guides class, it's one of my oldest classes, and it breaks down the 5 different guides that are appointed to you. Those of you who've been following me for a while, you know, I bring it up like a tick. I'm always saying, you know, take the Meet Your Guides class. Make sure you're talking with them every day. This is how you get in touch if you're confused about who your guides are. So yeah, you're going to get educated on what guides are, what they do for us, the 5 different types, and then we're going to go through some exercises and you're going to meet your guides, not guides in general, your specific guides that work with you. And then you should be able to hit the ground running. Okay. After that, keeping up the communication. The 10th of February is Coffee with Your Angels. Yes, I do have a show now for the 2026 lineup called Coffee with Your Angels. That's not what I'm talking about. This was originally a class. So again, it's been around about 15 years. Coffee with Your Angels is an opportunity for you to get educated on the 2 different types of angels that are appointed to you at birth and to meet them individually. So yeah, that'll take your healing abilities, your channeling abilities, your claircognizance to a whole other level. And is there anything else I wanted to announce today before we get into this? Haunted sleepovers. You guys keep asking, where the heck are you? What is this place? This is the 1882 Victorian Funeral Home. This was the Francis Rhodes house. And then it was a funeral home for over 55 years. It sat vacant, abandoned essentially for 16 years until I bought it just a couple years ago. It is now the Ivy League Psychic Academy. We are in the Haunted History Trail of New York State, the Historical Trail of Chautauqua County. So you can sleep here with up to 25 of your friends for a haunted sleepover experience. You can also book a ghost hunt or a historical tour. If you're not into the paranormal aspect, but you see the woodwork, you're like, oh my God, you know, this is pretty amazing. What's going on with the history of this place? Yes. Okay. So there's something here for everyone. What I'm doing in 2026 is an around the world sort of tour of the house that you guys had requested. So we already did 2 different spots. We did the foyer. We did one of the etched glass windows. This is living room number 3. And so you could see behind me, there are like squares up here in this woodwork above. They would have had originally chandeliers hanging from all 4 corners and then one in the center. This was their dining room. And then when you go off to this side, you have their kitchen. So they would have been eating in here. They would have been in and out of this sort of hallway, going into their kitchen, and you could still see them walking. So the original owner, Francis, Rhodes, you could see him in a darker suit and his wife in a long white dress. They walk this way all the time. So you guys may even catch it while we're doing a show. Yeah, I'll be here probably for another week or so, and then I'll move to another location around the house. So check it out. Any other announcements? I think we're good, right? If you need to book a party, a psychic fair, or a reading with me, I do work internationally. So you can go to Ivy Rivera Psychic Medium.com. Again, that's Ivy Rivera Psychic Medium.com. And it's a simple self-booking system. Holiday parties. Yes, you can also book your holiday party at this time. Also after today, I will be back on Friday for my yes or no question show, which you guys voted into the 2026 show lineup. So it's the first time we're back. And then Sunday, all spirit messages. Okay, you guys also voted that in for the 2026 show lineup. So all spirit messages is straight up mediumship the entire time. And again, that's Sunday. Both of those are at 9 p.m. Eastern back here on all these platforms. Let me find my tissues. If you guys haven't already done so, drop your $10 donation. I'm going to be delivering out whatever is the most important message for you to hear at this time. What's up, Ezzy? Do you want to come sit? Come, sit, sit, sit. Oh, there she is. You guys see her? Isn't she the most beautiful? Hello. Hello. You going to join us? Scooch in closer. No. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into this today. Hold on. I feel like something's on my mouth. It's going to make me insane. I don't know what that was. Welcome, everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Arawak, and this is the Unbound Sage, where you drop a $10 donation and I deliver out to you whatever is the most important message for you to hear at this time. I don't know where this message is going to come from. Maybe spirits that are around you, maybe your higher mind, the universe, maybe it's coming more through my psychic ability, but it is going to be relevant to where you are in your life right now. If you had a very specific question that you want to get answered today, that is not this show. That's called my Ask Ivy show. And that'll be coming up again in a couple weeks. You can also just book a reading for yourself, whether it be video, phone, or email, and you can ask your questions there. So go to ivyrivera.psychicmedium.com if you prefer that type of reading tonight. Okay, so we are going to open our minds, open our hearts, open our souls, and be ready to receive whatever comes through for you this evening. And who are we starting with? Diana, my beautiful producer, will be taking your name and payment, okay, from all of these platforms. But if you are on Instagram or you're on TikTok, she's not able to pin the directions. If you're on YouTube at Ask Ivy the Medium, she can pin the directions up there. All right, but be watching for her in the comments section. She'll be helping you guys out. All right, so the first one up is Anna Pekka. Anna Pekka, what message is coming through for you? You seem to be stalling out a little bit. So there is this energy here with you where it's like spirits like cheering you on. I see your spirit guides, your ancestors, your loved ones, even some pets sort of cheering you on. I also see friends, old friends who maybe you've lost touch with, people from your past that are still living, that you're not maybe spending as much time with as you used to. The karma there continues, okay, especially in the sleep state. So I even see them energetically cheering you on. And then it's like you're ready to hit the ground running. You're trying to move forward in your life. You're like, I've got this. I'm excited for a new beginning. Here we go. What's next? And then it's almost like you're stalling out. I want to say I'm hearing from your guides. You're letting yourself stall out. She's letting herself stall out. So you could at that point decide, almost like a sugar crash or a hangover, or you got high and you're coming down, okay? It's almost like at that point, you're saying, this isn't so great. I don't like where this is going. I don't even know where this is going. I don't have anything to be excited about. Maybe you're even thinking I'm acting manic or something like that. Like there's nothing positive coming in. I don't feel good about either myself or where I am or the things that are going on in my life right now. There's an emptiness here. There's a void here. And I'm just, instead of being positive and trying to focus on my future self and my future life and where I'm headed and the blessings that I do have, I'm going to focus on the void. And in this void, there's a dull sense of despair. There's definitely some grief which needs to be looked at and worked with. I'm assuming at this point, this is the core issue. All right. And there's a sense of loss, lack, loneliness. Could this also be isolation? I suppose. I don't know that I would go that far on isolation. I would just say a sense of loneliness, or, being isolated is essentially having like no one around, or like feeling as though you don't want to have anyone around. Being lonely is often having people around, but feeling disconnected from them, or feeling like they don't understand you, or feeling like there's a lack of intimacy there, or those relationships aren't really growing. They don't fit, basically. They just don't fit. It's not that they don't exist. But at the root, I think what we're looking at here is unresolved grief, unhealed grief. You can't force your way through grief. Grief is a healing process that takes its sweet time. And it's really important for you to understand that you want to identify when you're grieving throughout the day, in your dreams, whenever it comes, and you want to honor it by taking a time out. I don't care if that's going to the bathroom at work and locking yourself in the stall for 10 minutes. All right. Or just pausing and getting a cup of tea and being like, I have to sit down for 15 minutes today, or processing it in a more designated time, which I think would be smart for you, like 15 minutes at the end of the day, not right before you go to bed, but not too, shortly before you go to lay down, so that you can sort of get it all out. I think that you are grieving disappointment. I think you're grieving the loss of a life you wanted, or illusions that you were living within probably your whole life that have been shattering. The last I'm hearing 6 to 7 months, but I was seeing about a year and 2 months total. So one hit after another where these things are being knocked down. Okay. That will assist you in this excitement, this new beginning, this I'm going to hit the ground running, this new idea about who you are, where you're headed, your new life, and to keep you going. What is in motion stays in motion, but you have got to get it in motion. Okay. More than this. So it is a little bit of get out of your own way, because you're trying to act like this grieving process isn't really necessary. Or that it's not as big a deal as it actually is for you. Okay. So be careful with that and allow spirit to guide you, because they clearly are. Your ears may ring too when like you're about to have a grief episode and it's like, okay, all right, my ears are ringing. I'm getting called, I'm going to have to do this. Hopefully it hits on your lunch break, stuff like that. All right. Thank you. We're going to move on to next one up is CJG. What message do we have for CJG? It's like fruit's coming in, fruit of your labor, fruit from the trees, fruit from investment, oranges, apples, grapes. Is that a pineapple? Okay. These all mean different things. Okay. Oranges, apples, grapes. The pineapple is suggestive. Pineapples and bananas in my symbol base typically mean travel. So if you're looking at travel right now, side message, okay, this may be the time to book it. This may be the time to talk to friends, girlfriends especially, and be like, do we want to go on this cruise? Like, do we want to, take this? It's almost like a backpacking trip, or like a little hop through Europe. It's like I'm going here, a luxury over there that you can do. It's definitely feeling kind of out of, the United States. Now, I think this would be great for you, but I think there's some examination you need to do leading up to it in regards to your accomplishments. So when we're talking about fruition, we're seeing these different types of fruit come up on trees. A tree in particular, one tree, I was seeing it, and you're just like picking it. That means that you already did the heavy lifting. You already did the work. The labor has been put in, and here's the fruition. Oranges signify a couple different things at this time. Be careful with your immune system. Anyone and anything that needs to continuously be cleansed out. Don't let these people back in. Don't give any responsibility over to them. Don't give them a chance. Keep that door locked and shut, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so we open with that notice. That's number one. To get to all the rest of this, you got to have number one in order. Okay, come on up. This is an apple coming in next, which suggests suggests children, can also suggest like anything you've invested in people that are underneath you in some way, younger than you, more mature, need your skill set, okay, including and also, right, other people, qualifying as abundance from children. So that means that anywhere you've invested in others, the payback is also coming in that way. I would expect that to look like networking, projects, word of mouth, being seen as a brand, okay, being appreciated. And then you have grapes, and I'm going to wrap it up with this. Grapes is straight up cash, okay? So grapes can be made into wine. They can be enjoyed as is, but it's money that's readily available. It's also opportunities that's readily available, partnerships, networking, titles that are readily available that can be used as leverage or invested into much, much more. Okay, so this is like having a glass of wine. That's money, honey. This all looks good. All different levels of prosperity. Okay. Oh, enjoy. All right. I'm your new best friend. I'm gonna stay in connection with you. This looks amazing. Mackenzie Musser. Okay, Mackenzie, what message do you have for Mackenzie? I heard stop it. It's almost like you're allowing yourself to be bullied. Okay. And I'm not irritated for you. So like, it can't be that type of situation where it's like outside people actually bullying you. It's like your own brain. It's your own self, because the nature here is more observational, where we need to be more mindful, meaning you, okay? You need to be more mindful about the way your brain operates. Try to think of your brain and your life as being a movie. It's going on, things come and go, people come and go, different scenes come and go. And you're kind of back here, meaning you are your higher mind, which knows everything, okay, which is connected to the universe, which has all the answers and the ultimate truth and never lies to you. You're watching from your higher mind all of these feelings, all of these different situations, and you are judging it. You're using your discernment. You're analyzing it. You're processing it, essentially. And that's what mindfulness is. Okay? Mindful people know how to pay attention from that detached place to the thoughts that come in their head and the things they're feeling, the interactions they have. And it puts them in a position of power to avoid reactionary, emotional actions, and allows them to make more higher vibrational decisions when they're ready. Like, it even allows you to control the time clock more. Okay, so you're not feeling rushed. I have to make a decision right now. I'm feeling a lot. I must react. No. When you're detached and you're being mindful, it's like, let me analyze this. I'm going to take my sweet ass time. You're going to have to wait on me. Okay, so it's an attitude of like mastery. And it's, instead of you being in that position of mindfulness, it's you being wrapped up in the emotion. Everything that happens, every thought you have, every emotion that comes to the surface, every feeling, you're like, I'm rolling with it. I'm paying attention to it. I'm feeding it, which makes you, now we have a bigger problem, because now we have people on the outside that can come in and manipulate you. Because people who want to use, abuse, hustle, they spot that, okay, miles away. And they're like, there I go. There's my target. This is someone I can take from. And you're susceptible, because whatever you feed in life, you get more of. So if you choose to start feeding that detached mindfulness and higher vibrational discernment, slow in your roll and analyzing things, okay, understanding that you have the power to control your mind and your responses your emotions, then you can see your life really start moving in very positive directions. Some lateral moves, some upward moves, some new people coming in and great networking opportunities. Or you can stay in this cycle and you're like a mouse on a wheel, just kind of flipping. You ever watch a hamster? I was only allowed to have a couple hamsters as a kid because we always lived in like apartments. There were no pets allowed. And I got such a kick out of watching them. When they needed to exercise, they would get on their wheel and they would do the same thing in that big plastic ball. They would go around the house in that ball, but they would eventually go so fast on the wheel or in the ball that it would keep rolling without their permission, and it would just toss them around and sometimes shoot them right out the hamster wheel. And I just thought that was freaking hilarious, right? And they weren't like even bothered by it. Like they would go, but I would think, my God, that's got to be a terrible, that must feel awful. No. They would go right back on. The second they would stop being dizzy, they would go right back on the wheel. This is kind of where you are right now. Okay. Step off. All right. So we are going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? CJG. I think this is some feedback here. So CJG said, "Oh, thank you, Ivy. You're already my best friend in my head." I love you. I love you too. I love that. It's awesome. So exciting. All right. We're going to move on to Edgar. All right. Edgar Velardes. Edgar, what message do we have for Edgar? I think you're in a period of time right now, and I want to say for the next week, maybe a week and a half, but I want to say this could be peaking Thursday, which is what, tomorrow. This could be peaking again next Wednesday. I'm seeing for you psychically, okay, that you need to sort of analyze where you are. I have you watching videos, or I have you watching something on playback. I have you studying something. Now, you may be doing this with like work in some fashion, okay, work or learning. You're definitely trying to consume information, and you are trying to better understand what went on. It almost reminds me of something that you recorded or something you're being told to watch that was recorded. And what we're trying to figure out here is how different people reacted and how different people may have manipulated or how they like responded to create a dynamic in a group or to create a certain outcome or a situation. And I think what you're supposed to be taking from this is just more higher understanding, greater depth in understanding how humans react, how humans behave, and how it's sometimes noticeable if you know what to look for. So it's almost like you're trying to take your education up to the next level in regards to human behavior and social manipulation. All right. It's important not only for like whatever this is you're trying to learn for. Okay. You could be doing this in several different areas. That's my take on it, is that you should be doing it in several different areas. Some of it is just you watching from a distance. And some of it is quite literally something recorded that I believe you are watching on a phone, on a computer. You know, could it be social media and things like that? It could. But these things feel a little bit more closely connected to you. So again, it could be something like you just did a job, or, you know, you were working with some people and the whole thing had to be recorded because that's the standard. But later you're going back and you're studying it a little more closely. I think ultimately you need to figure out how people are manipulating. You need to figure out why certain behaviors are causing certain problems in other people. And people who are suffering are doing so at the hands of these triggers. All right. And then you can use the information. Okay. And whether it's getting justice, it's correcting the issue, it's, you know, finding a way to perfect your craft in the future with other situations like this, because it's just the tip of the iceberg. All right. It's almost like a psychological study is the best way I can explain this. It doesn't all feel negative either, but the good stuff is sort of not raising any red flags for me. So it's not a big deal. Yes, it's important that you note this was really positive, this was just interesting, and this is super negative, but it's more in how and what the universe is watching for with you is how you're going to use it. Okay. Or are you just going to dismiss it? This is not the time to dismiss any of it. Really interesting. All right. Thank you, Edgar. We're going to move on to another one. This is for Shauna Dempsey. Shauna Dempsey. What do we have for Shauna? Shauna Dempsey. You have a puppy coming up here behind you to the left, which is the past, and to the back, which can be skeletons in the closet, unfinished business, stuff swept under the carpet, things put up on a shelf collecting dust, conversations that haven't been had, conversations that haven't been complete. And it's a puppy, not a full-grown dog, which is symbolic of loyalty, but like something newer, something younger. So if you've recently gotten yourself invested, or you were hoping to get a payout, some type of response from new people in your life, situations, contracts. These don't have to be, written and literally signed on. These could be verbal, or sort of like, we had an understanding, I thought, but if you are realizing that some of these issues are coming to the forefront, where you're looking at new areas that you expected payout, you expected loyalty, you held up your end of the bargain, and you're finding that it really isn't there, you could be addressing this in a very serious way. It is time. I think that the last 2 months for you in particular, you've also looked at your own behavior, and anywhere where you've been sort of like slacking, snoozing, taking a break. Thank you for the hearts on TikTok. You may be saying to yourself, I really need to, up my game. I need to increase my investment. I need to show up more. And I think you have. So this is an important time just to calculate and make sure that you are in fact getting back. I think that there are some opportunities in all of this for you to do a little bit of like pruning of the branches. And what I mean by that is, we're trying to grow a tree, or we have a plant that can flower. We have to occasionally prune those branches so it can produce the flowers, the fruit, whatever it is. Because this is a puppy, not a full-grown dog, we could teach it new tricks. All right. We could still work with this, but it is going to require some evaluation. And I do think that needs to start now. And I do think that you need to be looking back the last few months at things. Yes. Yes. There may have also been someone who is, it's almost like about to tell you something. I get male energy. Okay. With this person. So someone may be telling you something and you're saying, is this true? Are they really going to follow through? It's almost like empty promises potentially. And so just be careful. Who is claiming to be a loyal, grown up, stable, opportunity for you. Ow, ow. I have skin and blood. Okay. Be nice to me. Thank you. Maybe you just sense that they're full of it. You can't explain why. You just sense that they're kind of full of it. Just keep your guard up here for a little while, because they are. Do you want to come up here? Come up here. Come up here. Come up and join us. Okay. Yes. You want some catnip? I think she wants her spray. Let me just hold on a second here. Want to get high? Okay. Have fun. Let's move on to another one. Up next is Crystal Henhawk, 8054. Crystal. Crystal, what do we have coming up for Crystal? It's like you're being put in a position of authority, and I don't entirely know that you're ready for it. I think that this is a great time for you to, I'm hearing, exercise your integrity, exercise your authority, exercise your discernment, and that comes with a light going on and off. So you're in a period of time here for a while as we enter into this new phase where you have this level up moving into a power position where you're going to be dealing with some people and situations, contracts, circumstances, all of the above. And your thinking as you enter into it, it's going to go this way. And it's actually going to go whatever way you make it go. And we want to make it go that way. Okay. Now, your decision making is going to be proper, high vibrational, accurate, right? If you allow this sort of, I see this light bulb turning on, okay, above your head. It's like I pulled the string, the light bulb turns on. If you're honest about what you're seeing, what you're thinking, even if it's going to require that you rock the boat, you could be looking at people and situations and circumstances and saying, this isn't right, or this isn't true, or this won't last, or this won't work, you know, whatever it is. And it's going to be up to you. So I want to say, like, do you want to win or not? Do you want to win or do you want to be accepted? Do you want to be complicit? Do you want to kind of get along? Or do you want to win? Do you want to be in a higher vibration? Because this is not a time for you to blend in with everybody else, especially low-level people or bottom feeders or people who are manipulative. This is an opportunity for you to sort of level up and level out. But you seem to see things as we go forward and say to yourself, well, I don't want to say anything. You know, I don't want to be the one. I don't want to point this out. Or like, yeah, but that person could maybe be of benefit to me later. I just posted a meme the other day that was so ridiculously accurate. It said something to the tune of, a lot of people refuse to burn bridges or confront situations because they have been raised to believe that they might need that person later. And I pray to God I never need some low-level crap like that, okay, in my life. And that's the trick, is knowing that every time the bus stops, somebody's got to get off. In order for a new door to open, another door has to close. You have to come with integrity, truly, in walking out that integrity, okay, and saying no to people in manipulative, gross situations, right? That are, I think in this case, even potentially hurting other people. And it's a form of blackmail. It's a cult-ish mentality. When we allow ourselves, you can come up, that's okay, you can come up. When we allow ourselves to make decisions like that from a place of fear, which is ego, fear, manipulation, and control, low level versus love. You can make any decision in your life at any given point from two places, fear or love. And love is faith. It is somewhat of a calculated risk. Often it is choosing the higher vibration with character and integrity because you know it's right. All right. And any decision you ever make from fear is going to implode anyways. So you're not leveling up by staying in the boat with this bottom feeder energy. Okay. Being compliant, being the yes man, that's going to sink anyhow. And as that ship sinks, and it will, it is a guarantee. It's just when is the question. As that ship goes down, they'll let you go down with it. They don't care. They're not going to rescue you. Okay. So level up and get out of there. Did we all say hello to Esmeralda Marie Rivera? Say hi, Ezzy. All right, we're going to move on to another one. Thank you, Crystal. Good luck. Next one up is Abby. Abby Hicks. Abby, what is coming through for you? Okay, this is interesting. So you have a set of balloons coming through here for you. Set of balloons. I see blue, I see yellow, I see red, I see black. Blue, yellow, red, black. And a gentleman coming through here who feels a bit like, I was going to say grandfather energy. I don't want to rule out anything paternal, okay, in general, but he feels a little bit more like grandpa to me. And what this can mean is that you are doing a little bit of releasing in your life right now, or you should be. This is where your focus needs to be. Releasing in regards to losses, loved ones that you no longer have, protection. I heard protection spells, the protection spells, so to speak, that loved ones can bring. You may be mourning the loss of, let's say, the patriarchal conditioning that you've had, where you have been living under illusions, or maybe the men in your family and the women who fed the problem too, right? Have put you in a position now where you sometimes have to wake up to disappointments, because of the lack of support or the attacks on the feminine, right? The glass ceiling that women have to deal with, all the toxic things that come along with those conditions. And there's a liberation that comes with this, but there is also a grief that needs to be acknowledged. There is some level of loss here. And this gentleman is karmic debt to you in this area. Okay. He's also a very loving guy. I mean, so, he's just coming in also trying to sort of lead you and guide you into this new, what feels like a phase in your life. But before you can sort of venture out to sea officially, or it's better yet, he said, it's almost like your boat just sort of shoved off, your ship just shoved off, from shore. It's now going. It's like, before we really get out to the middle of the ocean here, we have to let go of all of these balloons. So there's a certain type of like ceremony that you may want to do separately. I would. Okay. Blue. What is blue? The blue balloon is self-empowerment. So you are embarking currently on a self-empowerment journey. Yellow is fun, travel, adventure, excitement, new beginnings. Okay. This could also be like new friendships or relationships. Travel also within yourself and beyond yourself. Okay. Like out into the universe. Like it's bigger than just like, I'm going to Florida for a couple weeks. It's big. It's big. Then we have red is being seen as a power player. Red is power. Red is also righteous anger, which makes a lot of sense, given what comes up here next. Okay. So, red is, paint your front door red. This is whoever wears the red tie or the red lipstick or the red heels to the job interview gets the job, right? It's being seen as a power player. So you're entering into that as well. But first you have to release these in order. Okay. So it's blue, yellow, red. And then finally we have black. Black is free will. So after you go through these ceremonies, you are ready to release the black balloon, which is owning that you have free will in a different way than what you ever have. You're going to be entering into a period of time. This could go 6 to 8 months, where you're seeing constantly that every time a wave comes and your ship sort of rocks, you have an option to respond one way, another, or not at all, which is response in itself. And so your free will is really going to come to the forefront. You may recognize for a while, and he's really going to be helping you with this process, that you have more free will than you ever knew you did. Okay. And that everything in your life that's going on, good, bad, and different, is in a way because you put it there. Okay, based on how you've been using your free will or not. Maybe believing that you're sort of like a victim, all right, in some ways. So this is going to get really interesting. Very big, this change for you, 100%. Thank you, Abby. We're going to move on to Maraid. Maraid, what message do I have for you? My jaw is popping, which can mean that you're a little stressed right now. You're looking a little bit like a chihuahua to me, which is my symbol for very nervous energy. Like, I feel like the other shoe's going to drop. I have a terrible foreboding. I can't explain why, but like everything's a little bit of a shit show and it's just kind of rolling downhill. It's like a snowball. Like as it rolls downhill, it gets bigger. Now, this is just the way you feel. I'm not saying this is, I'm not saying I agree, that it's that bad, but that's sort of how you feel and how you're thinking about it. I think that energetically, the truth of the matter is that you're getting irritated. It's almost like being poked with like needles. We could say that these are triggers or hot spots. Take it how it resonates. But I think that the universe has a way right now of poking at you and also allowing you to be poked. And you're feeling frustrated in not receiving, I'm hearing two different things. The payouts that you wanted or you feel you're deserving of right now, and closure. Okay. So payouts. What payouts did she not get? You haven't earned them yet. It's like, I want to say be careful for an entitlement attitude. Okay, be careful, because sometimes we're kind of counting our chickens before they hatch, or we're expecting payout before we've technically done the work in the labor. And even if you did the work in the labor, did you hold steady? Are you doing it consistently for long enough periods of time that's created a strong enough foundation, okay, to build and to get those payouts up on top of it? It's like you haven't fully done the work. This could also be just a warning here, especially in dealing with others or like rushing things in your life. Be careful that you aren't being double-minded or being like your own worst enemy. So this could be a situation where you're getting in your own way. How do I want to say this? It's almost like I'm not going to follow my intuition. I'm not going to listen to my intuition. I'm going to instead like feed my emotions, right? Or I'm going to let my brain run away and just drag me along on the bumper, because logic will do that. We have 3 different kinds of intelligence. Let's get back to the basics here on this message. 3 different kinds of intelligence. You have emotional intelligence, which is not very intelligent at all, in my opinion. Okay, it often lies. Your feelings, your emotions, they often lie to you and steer you wrong. Okay, but they can be useful, especially if you're in danger. Then we have logic, which can also lie to you, but most of the time it's pretty solid. All right, if you're handling your brain properly. And then we have the 3rd intelligence, which trumps the other 2, and that is intuitive intelligence. Because energy never lies and your higher mind always knows, and the signs and symbols are always there, you should be leaning in more to your intuitive intelligence at this time and feeding your emotions and your logic less, because they're keeping you in a cycle here. I do think that number 2 here, and I'm going to have to wrap it up with this, closure. It's like you expected to have closure. Again, I'm getting the same thing. Be careful for an attitude of entitlement. I don't think you have a clear enough perception on how long things take. I get it. I feel you. I fully understand. When I've done the healing work on something, I want closure yesterday. Okay. That was painful. I'm exhausted. I got dark circles under my eyes. I ate a whole cake. Okay. I'm miserable. Like, I expect the closure to be here. It's like, what more do you want from me? You're kind of asking the universe, like, what more do you need? Why is the closure not here? Why am I still being haunted by this thing? But it doesn't work that way. We don't control when the universe comes in with a big wave to wipe out the rest of it. 50% of the labor is on you to do. Shadow work, therapy, new healing tools, all the things. 50% is on the universe to come in when it's good and ready to wipe it out and take the rest from you. You're like, where's the closure? Here. No. All of this is a little impatient. All of this is a little off base. And all of it has a little twang, twang, I don't know, of like this entitlement that has to do with, I see, you not learning patience. Patience is a virtue. You're rushing things. You're rushing, you're pushing. Okay. And you can't. Aren't you tired? It's like, go take a nap. Okay. Go take a nap. Just slow down. All right. Slow down. Also, because of this, you're not seeing the lovely things. It's hard to have an attitude of gratitude. It's hard to see the blessings when you're rushing and pushing and controlling. Okay. So that'll be going on a little while, 2 to 4 months. Prove that you can slow your roll, because you can. This is a choice. Okay. What's going on, Diana? Maraid says, can I get a second reading if I submit a donation? Yeah. So you guys could do that. I forgot to announce that. Okay. So we could do unlimited here. And this next one is for Mindy. Just keep in mind, you guys, I did ask, originally, Spirit, like, what's the most important thing for you to hear at this time? So hopefully none of that's getting repeated, because I'm not going to remember what I said. I'll go back and watch these videos and I'll be like, I said that. I don't even remember that ever even happening. Okay. It's called psychic amnesia. But yes, I'll see what comes up and I will certainly direct it so that you're getting a different type of message. Okay. I'll do my best. All right. Who is next? Is it Mindy? Did I say that right? Oh, let's see. Mindy. Okay. Mindy, what message is coming through for Mindy? Hi, gorgeous. Mindy. I agree. I I feel like you're entering into a period of time where you could be going under some, not attacks. I wouldn't go that far. I'm sure everyone who works in the light working field or whatever, maybe the dark arts, whatever, I'm sure every reader and healer is going to read it as an attack, but I would be careful using that word or thinking of it that way because you're giving it more power than what it deserves. I would prefer to think of this as like a test or maybe an opportunity for you to squash it. Okay. And I don't see you having a problem with that. I don't see you being incapable. I don't see you being unwilling. I sometimes see you just being a little hesitant. And we can't give situations and people circumstances that come in to test you, right? Or come into maybe attack is how people may tell you it is. You can't give them time. I think one of the issues that you've been going through in the last 5 to 6 years, you got tested 7 years ago. Then there was a massive change between 7 and 6 years ago. Go back, look back, okay, at everything that went on. Then it peaked 5 years ago where you really got tested again because you didn't necessarily pass those other tests. So the universe will just let you retake that test over and over. We're going to go around this mountain, no problem. We can do this for hundreds and hundreds of years and lives, okay? Universe is patient. You should have been less patient with all of this. You need to get a little more cutthroat and you need to get a lot faster. All right. So this is sort of last call. Is she going to go around the mountain again, or is she going to pass this series of tests and opportunities? I guess you could think of them as attacks if you want. Okay. Whatever motivates you. But I think that what's really happening here is that you are essentially being served some bullshit from people who are coming in, and I keep seeing a black and white cat. I don't know if this is your cat. I want to call it Oreo. So that may be literal. This could also just be your totem animal right now, but that's funny too, because we have to break that down as a symbol. Okay. A black and white cat. And if anyone else can claim that, this is a collective message for you too. You're being called out on this. Okay. Here's the thing. As different people and situations approach you that are not like sincere, they're trying to take advantage, they're trying to knock you down. It's going to be bad for your health, physical, mental, energetic, spiritual, or otherwise. Bad for your health, overall wholeness. Okay. You need to get faster at saying, no, thank you. Or just like, no is a complete answer. Nope. I set a boundary here. I'm not entertaining it. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not emotionally feeding it. I'm not going to allow myself to have nightmares over it. If a nightmare comes in about it, I'm waking up and I'm immediately using my lucid dreaming techniques to cut it off and redirect my sleep state. I am restful. I am the queen on the throne with the sword at her side, and you will not disrupt my peace. There needs to be more speed. You seem to know when you're supposed to say no to things, and it's like you don't, or you kind of do. It's almost like I did it half-assed and the universe is like, not good enough. Send her another round, test her again, around the mountain we go. And it's like, oh, wow, you've got to be tired. Okay. You have to be tired at this point. It's like, I'm trying to figure out why you're doing this. I think it has to do with self-worth. And this is just my psychic opinion. This isn't coming from spirit. This is just me. I think you don't feel deserving enough of higher vibrational things in your life, including respect, power, all right, control. It's almost like you don't think those things are for you. You think you're supposed to be controlled. You're supposed to be powerless, right? Martyrdom, victimhood, whatever. You're supposed to be at the mercy of circumstances. I don't think you see yourself as the queen. And I want to say, like, fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it. Okay. How do you get up to queen status? By practicing in little ways when these tests come up, and you cut off their head, you cut them off at the knees, you say no, you don't engage, you absolutely refuse to entertain anything and anyone that's below you. So here comes another round of tests. Okay. But I really wouldn't give it the last thing we want to do right now is to give it the power to be like, it's attacking me, because I think that's also been part of your problem in the past is like, you don't respond harshly enough and quickly enough, nor do you hold the line. Even when you do, even when you have, you backpedaled. Okay, so you got to hold that line. And I think, whatever, I think I lost my train of thought there. So I must have gotten it out. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. You have a grandmother coming in giving me some of that last message, and it's almost like Alice in Wonderland playing out on a chessboard. She's like on a horse. It's like the queen on a horse. I don't even know if this is real or if this is one of the Alice in Wonderland versions, but your grandmother's showing it like you are riding in like the knight or the queen, and it's like off with their heads. Just know you're getting backed, okay, so that you can pass this and not go around this mountain again, by a very strong female with another one right behind her, maternal energies. All right. Thank you, Mindy. We have, this is for Mark, AKA Nature Calls You. Okay, Mark, Nature Calls You. What message do we have for Mark? Put your money away, put your money away, put your money where your mouth is. Put on the red gloves. You know, I think you could knock out some situations without really even having to throw a punch. Who is that guy who's all cocky? That white kid who was like talking all kinds of trash and like did a boxing thing. And then I think he won up against the old guy. Wasn't it Mike Tyson? And then he went in and he got his ass whipped like by this other guy, recently. Kind of funny. That's what I'm seeing. So Paul, I don't care. Anyways, he had it coming. It was my take on it. I don't know the details. That's what it felt like to me energetically. He had it coming and I loved it. I think he had to have his whole jaw rewired and stuff. Dude broke his jaw even. This is you. Okay. So you are coming into a situation, putting on your red gloves, but it's like your face is a poker face. It's like you're not showing anything stoic. This is reserved. This is unbothered. And I see you entering into a situation here where it's like, I'm pulling them on. You've got people on the side of you, like putting grease under your eyes and, you know, lacing them up for you. Like you really don't even have to do anything. And it's like, are they on? And then one punch and you're knocking out a situation entirely. I think that ultimately you may have a little bit of a fight on your hands before you level up officially here. In probably the next 2 months, the level up comes, but it peaks at 5 months out from now. So this is like a 2-parter move, okay? And so this is you moving forward, but being understood by others around you as the boss in order to, I think, hold that position, that level up position. You know, I like to say new level, new devil. You guys probably hear this out of me all the time, but there is a free mini class on my YouTube at Ivy the Medium called Fighting the Dark. I would love to hear from you guys in the comment section. If you took it, how it helped you, recommend it to others. Okay. It's free. So it's called Fighting the Dark. There's a part 1 and a part 2. You may want to check this out. But I think that ultimately what you need to understand is that every single time you are about to level up in life, you come under 5 different types of potential, maybe not all, but 5 different types of attacks. And the idea here that someone or a situation has the audacity to come at you, and it is audacity, the audacity to come at you and to even think for a minute it's not going to get his ass kicked is hilarious to me. But I think that you need to be don't hesitate and don't be apologetic and don't feel bad. Okay. Sometimes you got to knock it out. Sometimes you got to knock people out. Okay. The way I was raised, if a bully were to come up to you on the playground, you knock them out the first time. So it doesn't happen a second time. Okay. And if you see someone else getting picked on, you knock that kid out too. Okay. Like you have to step in. And I believe, while I'm not promoting violence willy-nilly, I do believe that the world is in the state that it is because not enough people have stepped up. Okay. And this is one opportunity for you to level up into a position of power. And it's just interesting to me that you enter by fighting that fight and making a very bold statement. Okay. I'm doubting very highly it will come down to physical violence if that's not clear. Okay. I think that's more symbolic, but certainly a little rough. All right. Danny Ruiz. We're not doing specific questions, Danny. Does she want this anyways? I'm not doing like on your romantic love life. I'm not like, no. So yeah, we don't even, you go back and check Diana with her. Cause I don't know, maybe she wants to hold that off for the love and relationships show. That is a new show, but clearly at the top, this one is not it. This is the Unbound Sage. Okay. I do have to do the puzzle on TikTok. I'll let you figure out her question and whether she wants to use it as a credit for a later show or just receive any message that comes through. For those of you tuning in late, this is the Unbound Sage, where you drop a $10 donation and I deliver out to you whatever is the most important message you need to hear at this time. And I forgot to ask everyone to please give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment of any kind. If everyone could just stop for a second and do that, would be greatly appreciated. If you could also drop a comment letting me know where you're tuning in from. All right. And please share, subscribe. All right. And if this reading is hitting with you tonight, it may not. That's why we're doing these messages, is because it may be something you're not hearing. Okay. It may be something you're overlooking, or it's coming. It hasn't even happened yet. But if it resonates with you, please do let me know. Leave a little testimonial in the comment feed. Anne Marie. All right. So we're going to move on to Anne Marie DeLaura. Anne Marie, what message do we have for Anne Marie? What's the most important thing for her to hear at this time? You have a gentleman coming through here. I want to say, feels like father energy. I want to say, I also feel grandfather, mom's side of the family. So a couple gentlemen, and it feels like someone else who's not blood related. Got a lot of men here, a lot of men. You have a few gentlemen coming in here. One is carrying a candle, which can also mean like, thank you for keeping the candle lit, or you've been talking to me more lately. Okay, we have a back and forth dialogue going on, right? It's almost like you're asking questions about what's next. So if you've been asking of the universe, of them, of your higher mind, you know, what's next? Where do I go from here? I'm also hearing within that, what's the meaning? And I feel as though you're asking what's the meaning of life in some ways. So this is actually quite deep. I think you need to get answers for that. I'm also seeing new coming. Okay, so some new opportunities coming in, a travel opportunity or an exciting opportunity. All right. And it feels like work, sort of like a work or an educational opportunity here. Okay. So a couple different things going on with you. If you have found yourself in this like intermediate place, you know, you're in the in-between, what's it called? Liminal spaces. I think a liminal photography here. I love it. Love it. You know, but it can be a little creepy, and it can be a little bit like, how long am I going to be here? Or like, what is this? You know, it's not really the place you want to stay. And I'm seeing the Dr. Seuss book, The Places We Will Go. And in the middle of the book, he talks about the waiting place. And everybody gets stuck here sometimes, you know, but you're not meant to stay. You know, some people will stay forever. That's not your story. Just remember that. It's almost like you're asking, where am I supposed to be headed? And you may be looking at things like your financial investments. Do you have enough money to do what you really want to do long term? If you're looking at any type of relocation or even significant change with your workspace, that can also count here. Relocation for me is residency. It can also be land, real estate, but it's also where I work. Okay, the literal space. I think that what you're trying to do is make plans for what's next in the future. And you're in such a free will zone. The universe isn't saying black or white, right or wrong, left or right. You know, the universe isn't saying anything by design. So it's up to you. The universe is saying, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? What do you want to create? It's like having a blank canvas, right? And you've got all these paints and you're like, I'm not a good painter. And it's like, it's irrelevant. Finger paint if you have to. Okay. But like paint, you need to paint. It's time to paint. So there is a sense of movement where you need to sort of go forward and expect that there is new coming or incoming. We have a person entering your life here relatively soon. And again, you have these gentlemen watching over. You also have a lady on mom's side who feels quite maternal, but I feel more grandmother energy coming off of her, who was very wise. She didn't pontificate, and she would have been like cooking and cleaning and doing her thing and watching and observing and not saying much. But when she opened her mouth, you really would have been wise to listen. There was a lot of value in her words. She is coming in also guiding you through this process and making me feel like, you know, you have somebody coming in who can help to elevate you and show you some of the options for your path forward. You also have this fun travel adventure opportunity coming in toward you. So whether you're planning a trip or, you know, you are about to engage in something that's going to be really fun and uplifting for you. Thank you for the hearts on TikTok. You know, you're going to want to feed more of that. It's like this person and this opportunity helps you to figure out more, utilizing your free will, okay, where you want to be, when you want to get there. I feel like you're coming up with a 5-year plan also, not to say some of these changes aren't needing to come sooner. Okay. But there's also like a longer term plan. And again, I get that relocation. Are you trying to move or change things up significantly with work, residency, ownership? There's also talk of you getting into something new with work/education. So I think there's more discovery of self and the universe that needs to happen here. This feels like it's coming in more intensely for the next 2 to 3 months, with a dividing line between the second and the third month out from now. Okay, which means big change, big change. You need to understand that 3 months out from now, you may be looking back at your life and saying, this is pretty unrecognizable. Even I myself, in a lot of ways, am unrecognizable. So you're on quite the journey here. Okay, out of the waiting place and into the new. It is definitely time, but remember, you paint that canvas. You're in a free will zone. And often we think we want free will until we have it, and then we just feel like we're free falling. So if you've been asking the universe, yes, no, right, wrong, left, right, and you're not getting any answers, that's why. Okay, it's up to you. It's like throwing it back at you. Nature calls you. Also, Mark. Okay, same person said thank you, Ivy. You're very welcome, Mark. Thank you. Abby said, thank you, Ivy. Time to get some balloons. Maybe it is, you know, and that's a great example for everyone. Anytime you want to do like a releasing ceremony, some people prefer to write things out on paper and then tear it up or burn it or bury it. Balloons are a great way to create ceremony, or lighting candles and then blowing them out one at a time. But yeah, balloons are powerful. We're going to move on to Tanya Rivera. Tanya, what is the most important thing for Tanya to hear at this time? You know, it's a symbol of you taking a very large dog and locking it in a cage. This is symbolic of you deciding that you're not going to be affected by someone's bark or bite anymore. This could represent old situations in your life, old people, old energies. This could also be a haunting inner voice. This could be another part of your own mind that tends to threaten you, is disloyal to your own self, and knocks you down. Okay, repeatedly. We don't have to go through the whole spiel. Okay, you go through and see what this means for you. But as it resurrects, you're sort of being called for the next, I'm seeing 4 weeks. This will go a total of 4 to 7 months, but it seems to intensify at about 4 days out from now, because there's going to be change in one specific area of your life at that time. And then there's going to be, you know, the 4 weeks with some things coming to a head again. Just pay attention when something comes up that is threatening you in some way, whether it be inner dialogue, outside circumstances that you've been just allowing and tolerating, okay? People, and it's this idea of you taking this dog and putting it in a cage. And I like the way you did it, because this beastly Cujo type potential character. Okay. You lured in with some like dog food and then you just like shut it and locked it and it can't do anything. Okay. So you may have been allowing things that were looming over you or controlling you to be much bigger than what they were. A lot of this is just habit too. So allowing for negative thinking and circumstances in your life, something that can bully you around and threaten, well, if you don't let me just bark at you, I will bite. Okay. If you come near me, you try to cage me, I will attack. And it's like, will you though? Not anymore. You won't. So you putting it to rest. Now, the image of a dog here is also symbolic. And this isn't the first time this even came up tonight. So I wonder if these are becoming the collective message for the evening or one of them. But this is about loyalty. Dogs are always about loyalty. The fact that this looks like a full-grown dog, too, is you can't teach an old dog new tricks. So stop entertaining old ways of like thinking or habits or people or situations that have been the same. They're patterned, okay? It's already proven what it is. It's not going to change. Lay it to rest. Let sleeping dogs lie, I'm hearing. And this idea too, that you're worth loyalty, that you need to be more loyal to yourself going forward. It seems like in some areas you've definitely spread too thin or overreached. Now, these may have been previous investments. Maybe if these people or situations were entering your life right now in 2026, you'd be like, I wouldn't be given to that at all. Or I would have done that entirely differently. But because you have been for so long, you've created this pattern, this expectation. Things are already set in motion. And we do that with systems and relationships and family dynamics and work expectations and money relationships, our relationships to resources, our relationship to ourselves, because the old patterns were laid down for so long where you overreach, you overgave, you sort of cheated yourself. You said in a lot of instances, well, I can give over here. It doesn't mean you should have, but you said I can, so I will. You're going to have to now rock the boat. So I see you pulling out of that. Okay. You got to pull out of that. And you have to be realistic that as you pull out, as he's staring at something right behind my head. What are you looking at? As you, pull out of these situations that have expectations from you, of you, it is going to create some discord. And there isn't a single human who benefits from you doing things the old way who's going to appreciate you setting a boundary or hearing no, right? Or getting less. So expect a little rebuttal. But again, it's not something you really need to be concerned about. Certainly don't let it dictate your decisions here, because you can simply put that dog in the cage and lock it up. And if you don't want to hear it bark, you could just leave the scene. Okay, it's not your problem is a good way to say that. All right, Cat Bathory is next. Thank you, Tanya. Let's move on to Cat. Cram a couple more on here. Cat Bathory. Okay, Cat Bathory, what message do we have for Cat? I feel like you're spreading yourself a little bit thin and then feeling like I did too much. And at the same time, I didn't do enough. And it's like you're becoming an octopus. Okay. So your totem animal right now is literally the octopus. Okay. And then it becomes a kangaroo with like a baby in the pouch. So I'll get on to that next. But this symbol here of you feeling like I did too much and not enough is interesting. You seem to have this dichotomy, this bipolar sort of fighting with yourself here, where you're looking at your life, and there's talk of the last 3. So I want to say 3 weeks. Take it out resonates. Could be 3 months, maybe longer even than that. You realize this is like 3 years, but I want to focus this message mostly on the last 3 weeks. You seem to, as an octopus, right, be pulled in many different directions, and you are putting your, what the heck are those things called? Suction cups. okay, your legs, you did that. You chose to be like, I'm an octopus. Look at all the things I can do. And it's like, I'm going to touch this, and I'm going to get my involvement over here, and I'm going to put my nose up over here, and I'm going to agree to this, and I'm going to do that. And it's like, okay, now I am spread, okay, too thin, and I am not able to really wholly give in any one area because of all these other things I committed to. And I was really only supposed to give in one area. All right. So you end up being exhausted, having to pull all of your tentacles or whatever they're called back in. And, if you've ever seen an octopus kind of shrink, or like a squid like shrink, it's amazing. I mean, they can fit through the smallest cracks. They remind me of like bats and mice, and stuff where it's like, how did they fit in there? And you're shrinking. Okay. And that's where I feel you are now. After 3 weeks of this, it's like I'm shrinking down, and now my thoughts are, I did too much. And at the same time, I did not do enough at all. And so there's this defeat. And I think that it's time for you to examine how you did that, why you did that, where you did that, how you can change it going forward, because you're going to have a concrete plan. You also seem to have someone entering your life who maybe wants to be a romantic partner, or is in here acting from a romantic framework. And like wants to mentor you. I feel weird about that. Okay. I call it wounded healer syndrome. When people come in and they're like, take my healing, take my advice, they're irritated, when you don't. It's a form of control. They're siphoning off of you, whether you recognize it or not. And I think you do sometimes, you feed it anyways. But like, they're siphoning off of you. They're getting high off the supply. They are feeling like dopamine hits, oxy, ego strokes, by showing you how to live, reminding you that you're doing it wrong, right? And there's the big difference. Here's an example. In a show like this, I'm telling you whatever spirit's saying or I'm seeing would be best for your highest and best good, and then I drop it. I don't care if it lands or not. Quite frankly, I would love for you to take it, but if you don't, I'm not wounded about it. I don't even remember it, okay? It's a release. That is being given healing or guidance or support from a high vibration. When someone has cords and ropes and strings attached to what they give, you don't want to be very, very careful with that. Now, the last part of this message is after you examine how you have been an octopus, okay, in all those ways, and how it has left you feeling completely defeated. And again, bipolar, or with this dichotomy of like, I did so much and I didn't do enough, or I did too much and I didn't do enough. You're going to want to start seeing yourself more as, and these kangaroos will probably literally be showing up in your algorithm, following you, showing up in your dreams, signs and symbols of them. You have the opportunity to elevate up into a kangaroo status, which in this case is very powerful and very much equipped of being a healer, of being parental, okay? Because we see the what do they call them, kits, the baby in the pouch, of being able to even carry others, but they are also, very strategic, and they're coming at situations unexpected. They look cute and furry, and no one would really see it coming. But when they need to pack a punch, they certainly can. Have you ever seen a kangaroo fight? It's like scary. It's like gives me the stuff of nightmares. Okay. They're kind of horrifying, really. No one sees them coming. I think you need to be a little less out here, and you need to be a little bit more concerted in your efforts. And I think that focusing on what is within your pouch, within your reach, within your, what is for you to take care of and what is not any of your business. Stay in your lane. Okay. Stay in your lane, and avoid people who are like just energy vampires for sure, especially when it comes romantically, because that can get gross real quick. Okay. All right. Let's move on to another one. Thank you, Kat. This Tanya Rivera says, thank you, Ivy. You're very welcome, Tanya. Thank you for being here. Melissa Subia is next. Melissa Subia. What is the most important message for Melissa to hear at this time? Very interesting. You have a native ancestor coming in here. And a tribal leader who is this? A guide, okay, as well. You have some spirits coming in here, keeping an eye on you, making sure that you understand that you are elevating. And well, it's like from lessons, you already have elevated. Okay, so they're giving you a feather. And this feather is symbolic of power, of lessons learned, of alchemy. So you've transmuted pain to power. You've created lessons. You have taken on the growth, and you are now ready to give it out to other people. So there's smoke also coming in with this feather. This amount of smoke is symbolic of cleansing and calling in higher powers, the ancestors, the masters. Okay. I'm even hearing like sun god, moon goddess, like things like calling in the higher up energies and allowing them to fill you, because your whole life up until this point, you have not had your cup filled properly. And this isn't even a situation where they're like blaming you, like, why don't you take better care of yourself? It's like, it didn't matter, you poor thing. Even when you did, it didn't matter. Like, your cup just was not filled properly. You know, there have been, and this may have been a Saturn hold in your astrology. I mean, you can look into it. You know, I'm not an astrologer, but the planets do talk to me. I think that there could have been a Saturn hold where there were some areas where you were working really hard, but Saturn is like the father, time, the patriarchy. It holds payouts. Okay. And so you're working 10 times as hard. You're getting less than half the payout than what you should be getting logically. And these holds can last. I think for you, this could have been an 8 to 10 year cycle. And then all of a sudden it releases and all your blessings come in. So your cup is getting filled. Okay. This is about you taking this feather from your ancestors, this guide, being able to connect it also as you go off on this new journey to any indigenous and tribal roots that you have in this bloodline and in previous lives, and becoming what looks to me like a tribal leader, an elder, someone who can, you know, put the symbol in my base of putting the feather on the right side of your hair is now I am officially in this position. Now, when you become a leader in this way, you aren't chasing it in any way. You're not pontificating. You're not having to stress yourself out over it. You're not having to be like, thank you for the hearts on TikTok. You're not having to say like, well, how do I do it? Where do I do it? With whom do I do it? You simply live. There's no more work to be done other than the leadership work that will be coming to you. So from here forward, I would expect, and this is going to launch kind of slow. So it's kind of like a slow grow for the next month. And then bam, off she goes. It's almost like a roller coaster when you go up to the top and then it gets fun, you know? Exciting. It's exciting. Where are you going with this? I guess wherever you want. I mean, I don't want to go off the rails, but I think that what's happening here ultimately is that people in situations, your ministry, you could call it, right, are going to be coming to you, clients, right? People who want you to mentor over them. Any ways that you can offer healing, guidance, leadership, spiritual coaching, right? Energy work, what have you. I see you giving it out. And I see it bringing back funds for you, which are literal money, or like monetary resources. But this could also be partnerships, networking, right? Investment opportunities. It's also going to come in filling your cup with appreciation and gratitude. So if you're the type of person, you're getting called out, and anyone else who's resonating with this message, because it could be collective, I feel, for 3 other people, there's a requirement here that you learn to let your cup be filled. And that's going to involve a lot of praise and accepting the praise or compliments. I'm one of those people too. I get it, because like my parents didn't compliment me and it was nothing but criticism and there was so much abuse and this and that, in society and the way they treat Latinas. And it's just so bad coming from so many angles. I've learned never to really be able to even hear a compliment. So people compliment and I'm like, yeah, no, didn't even hear it. Like couldn't tell you. That's not healthy. And we have to work really hard at being proactive in reception. Okay. Being able to say, I'm looking and I'm watching and I'm waiting to receive so my cup can get filled, because it's coming. The love is coming from the universe, the people in it, circumstances. But I have you being like, yeah, almost uncomfortable with the compliment. You can't do that anymore. Okay. This is very exciting for you. Okay. Thank you, Melissa. And enjoy it. I have to turn up the heater. Okay. I cannot take this one more minute. So you guys just bear with me. I'm going to turn up my thermostat here. I feel like no matter what I do, in this house, it is either freezing or it's a sauna. There is no in between. Right, Mama? Yeah. We're going to get warm. It's coming. 5 more minutes. Okay. Let's see where we are. Who is next? What do we have next? Okay. I just want to do last call. Okay. So I just want to do last call. If you guys have not already done so, drop your $10 donation and I will be delivering out to you whatever is the most important message for you to hear at this time. And if you want to book a reading privately, you can go on to Ivy Rivera Psychic Medium.com. I do work internationally, super simple self-booking system, and I have a lot of hours of availability for international reasons. But if the time frames aren't working with you, you can also get a video reading. Okay. You can also get a spirit message for yourself if you prefer to do this specific type of reading privately, or you can gift it to someone else. So when you go on my website, just scroll down till you see spirit message, and that'll be sent to you or whoever you gift it to through email as a voice reading. Okay, let's move on to another one here. This is for Hazel, aka Miami Heat 305-ish. Hazel. All right, what is the most important message for Hazel to hear at this time? Do it. Lay down the groundwork and launch it. I don't know if this is also writing it out, test taking, research. It seems very organized. So if there's anything that you have been trying to do, debating on doing in regards to leveling yourself up in career, a side hustle, entrepreneurship, business ownership, okay? Because this feels very, very much like you in power. You're not being given orders. You're not taking orders. You're dictating what exactly you learn, how this is going to go. But it's really a sense of like consumption here. Okay. So that's kind of where it falls in with like certifications, education, research. I'm taking information in. All right. And I'm going to keep looking at it. And then I'm sort of launching this new thing. That's what's being recommended for you. Okay. So I'm not really like telling you necessarily what you're doing. I'm telling you what you should be doing, what would be best for you to do, because we are within a time frame right now of ballpark 4 months. This could really peak at 7 to 8 months out from now. And then you have a level up at 9 months that could potentially come from all of this. So this is a little bit of like, now is the time. Let's get her done. Okay. Let's hit the road. Let's hit the ground running. I'm hearing. I think that you are also about to enter into a period of time where it's like Phoenix rising from the ashes. So I see you going through the last of the flames, the last of the fire, the last of the endurance that you need. If you feel like you've been going through a bit of a hard time, or like you've had a lot of tests, trials, tribulations, blocks, obstacles, you're coming out of that. And it's almost like you've numbed yourself out. You're like, I'm fine. I'm okay. This is fine. I'm good. You are so strong that you can sometimes become numb. And this is a time for you to pamper yourself a little bit and to recognize, that sometimes we also don't want to recognize what we've been going through emotionally, because until you're to a point of safety, it's not even safe to go there. We cry and we release and we grieve and we start the real healing process and everything after we're out, okay, of the cycle of distress. Maslow's hierarchy of needs, for example. But I think that it's time. I think it's time for you to acknowledge kind of what you've been through and how much hustle you've had to have. It's like, I'm going to go, go, go. My stamina has been there. Now I want to come down off of this. And I want to, crash out a little bit, not in the crash out term that like all the kids are using these days, where it's like mental and emotional. A little, but it's more like let my body rest. And sometimes it can feel like a crash. And I can't prescribe or diagnose, but sometimes that can come along with like colds or flu-like symptoms, or your immune system kind of shutting down, and you sleep excessively. If anyone's ever gone through a long period of stress, you know how it is when your body finally relaxes. It's like, oh no, I'm almost afraid to let go, because I know I could potentially go through like Kundalini and detoxing, and all of this. That's okay. All right. That's okay. It's necessary. And I think that you're getting ready for this sort of new beginning, this launch that is going to allow you to, for the first time in your life, really be in a position of power and control. And you dictate what type of work you do, how much you get paid for it, when you do it, how long you do it for, with whom. I mean, this is fabulous for you. Absolutely fabulous. It's very exciting. I also see spirit channeling through you, which is symbolic of the number 3 and divinity. Okay. So you are in alignment with your life contract in doing this. But for a while, it's that releasing and letting go. And it's also, get it done, get it done, get it done, get it done. And a little bit of like research going on here for any other final details that you really need to collect. That's a change. You're not the first person I saw this with tonight. A couple people are really leveling up significant, potentially. You have to choose it, of course, but it's here. This is a big deal. Thank you, Hazel. Okay, we got some people jumping in for last call. I can see in the comment section. Okay. Angela Noor, Knoer is next. Angela. Knoer. Okay. Angela, what is the most important message for Angela to hear at this time? Your mediumship is increasing. You also seem to be cutting somebody off here in a minute, and you're getting behind the wheel of a car and you're taking off. So this is a storyline that goes mediumship number 1, the car number 2, and the cutoff number 3. Okay. I love this for you. So your mediumship has been increasing. The grandmothers used to say that when the ears ring or you get that weird tinnitus, it's left for love, right for spite. And that was fairly accurate. The left ear is mediumship, and you're supposed to kind of pick up the phone and pay attention to the songs that are popping in your head, the words that are popping in your head. Okay. Any thoughts that are popping in your head. That's how spirit communicates. This is an increase that you've been having for approximately 6 months, but it feels like something happened between 5 and 6 months ago that would have like really caused a peak. I have a free mini class here on my YouTube at Ask Ivy the Medium called Intuitive Increases that breaks down. I think I only put like 16 of them in there. There's more than that, but you were triggered. Now, what do you do with it? Well, some people do nothing with it, but I would highly recommend doing what you appear to be doing here, okay? The recommendation is that you use it for power. So you seem to be entering into a period of time here where symbolically, and this may be showing up in your dreams too, sports cars, red cars, you being behind the wheel of a car in your dreams, driving real fast. There's this image of you getting behind the wheel of a red sports car, which is power. It can also be righteous anger, which makes sense with number 3 here. Before I forget. Yeah. Red can be righteous anger. It can be symbolic of power, not only feeling powerful, but being seen as a power player, being powerful, okay? Which means people, the outside world, reacts to you as a power player. It's also symbolic of speed and fluidity, okay? And whatever is in your way, you're going to run right over, okay? So blocks and obstacles being removed. It is taking your power back, because we did not see you in this car to begin with. And that is always a bit of a problem. It can mean that you were giving your power away in the past, and now you're taking your power back. Okay. And you're doing it quickly, and the mediumship assisted you in doing it, whether this was spirit giving you warnings, calling you out, cornering you, putting you in a timeout chair, whatever process had to go over those months that we were talking about. Okay. Now you're ready to go. Now you are owning your power. Okay. And so you're going to be seen as power player, all these things. It's also fun. A red sports car, it's kind of ridiculously fun. Okay. So you're entering into a period of like excitement, exploration, adventure. What else? What else? What else? And I pity the fool who gets in the road in front of you, because you will be plowing over anything and anyone who wants to come in to slow you down, mooch off of you, get a free ride, drain you. You're not having it. Okay. I just see you running it over. And like they scatter, to get out of the way, which is excellent. You have a whole new attitude. And then number 3, and I have to wrap it up with this, is the cutoff. So you have male energy coming in. Now this could be, and then I feel like I'm choking. Someone's trying to shut down your throat chakra. They're trying to silence you. This could literally be a male. This could also be toxic masculinity or masculine energy, which is considered in the yin yang, right? Feminine versus masculine. It's considered the aggressor. So any situation that's the aggressor. Do not allow yourself to be shut down. And the way to handle it is cut off. Immediate and final. No contact, what have you. No access to you, your mind, your emotions, your time, your energy, your affection, nothing. Okay. That's how you keep your car going. All right. This looks brilliant. Maraid. Okay. Thank you, Angela. Maraid is up next. Okay. Maraid, what is the most important message for Maraid to hear at this time? I gotta clear this out. I heard you should leave. You want to leave? I want to leave. Can you leave? I see you picking a daisy, and your inner child, you look like a little girl, and it's like you got kind of like almost like red hair, light brown hair, it's like I see little pigtails, and this is symbolic of your inner child. It's like you want to go pick this daisy, and you're like, I don't know if I can pick it. A daisy is symbolic of fun, joy, peace, inner happiness, balance. It has a little excitement in there as well. Okay. But just general happiness. I want to do what's going to make me happy. And I want to pick it. And I want to keep it. But there's some sense of hesitancy here. It's almost like if I pick it, it will die. If I pick it now, it's not ready. If I pick it, I can't keep it. I can't have it. It's like, I can't do it. So you're feeling a little bit trapped. You may be feeling like you're in a bit of a prison in your life right now, where there are like these other things you want to do or explore or be or, have and celebrate. And you're like, I can't, like, they're not for me, or I can't do it right now. And I think you need to reevaluate that a little bit. So there is a call to action. Okay. A little CTA for you here, a little homework. I think you need to open up a journal. And you may even want to treat yourself to something new. So if you're like a stationery addict, I am, okay, pens, stationery, I'm like obsessed with it. As a kid, it was stickers and stamps, I think that you may want to treat yourself to a journal and some nice pens And you may want to start jotting down anytime you feel angst or you feel desire or you feel despair or you feel imprisonment in your life. If you feel like anxious, like I'm waiting too long, or the other shoe's going to drop, I have a terrible foreboding. All of these things for you are signs that you are being called to answer a question that your inner child is asking you about what you really want and what you have currently that you don't want. Okay. And then we can start to organize a little bit better. How do we get from A to B? How do we get there? And you can come up with a plan of action. But right now, it's like your inner child feels trapped, forced to look at fun things maybe that other people have or that you would love to have for yourself or that maybe you'll have in the future, but you don't know. And you can't touch any of it. I don't feel necessarily like you're being called to passively wait for these things. I don't necessarily feel like you're being called to take huge action on these things either. I think you're being called to organize and process and think more clearly and learn to master self-care, self-love, self-expression, because you may have never been taught is what this looks like to me, hence the inner child being trapped in the prison. You may have never been shown, maybe your parents didn't show you, how to process what you're feeling and wanting and your desires and to say that's okay. And maybe I don't have that right now and I may not even have it tomorrow, but you know what, darn it, I'm going to work toward it. And that's okay. All right. I'm still in a good place. It's all right. I'm going to get there and I'm determined to get there. I'm not just going to throw up my hands. Okay. And be a victim to not having it. It's like you won't even allow yourself to really look sometimes at what you really want. And I'm not talking about the blatantly obvious things. You know what I mean? Maybe you're like, oh, I want to, you know what I mean? I want to get on a plane and I want to go to Europe for 4 months. Who doesn't? I'm not talking about the big stuff. Talk about the things you reject, the things you're holding down, the way that you're suppressing. Okay. The oppression. You've become your own oppressor in some ways. Okay. Time to flesh that out. Honor it. All right. Thank you, Maraid. We have Jess is up next. Again, this is unlimited. I forgot to announce that earlier in the show. So yes, if you want 2 different messages, you can go ahead and drop another donation or as many as you want. Okay. Jess is up next. This is $11.99. Jess, $11.99. Okay. Jess, what is the most important message? Oh, you seem to be right here. Okay. In the future, slightly, I mean, over the course of the next 2 to 5 months. Okay. But this really, really peaking around between 2 and 3 months. But it is in your free will zone, which means it's up to you. It's up to others. I can't give 100% guarantee on what anyone's going to choose to do. It's technically in a free will zone. So it's not 100% written yet, like something that would be destiny charted future. Okay. It's up to you and others, but I see you feeling very fulfilled, receiving a lot of loyalty, receiving a lot of payouts, payback, the right people showing up, wanting to support you, showing you gratitude through cash, which is really nice, and title increase. But you also seem to have earned that title increase yourself. So we don't want to give credit, where it's not necessarily due. I think that, oh, I see. Okay. So it's also you, okay, have been loyal to yourself. You've been working on your title increases. So this could be with your career. This could be making sure that you have made changes and you have stuck by the new habits you had to create, the detoxing, letting go of the old, mourning it, toodalooski, letting it go, recreating, okay? Because you have to detox if you're going to make room for the new to come in. You've been doing all the labor. You've been sticking to it. You've been pretty steady. And now it's like we're ready to see all the fruition from that. I do think that you may also be taking on a side role, or inadvertently, you may be doing healing work with people where they're coming to you like a ministry, a fan base, clients, call it whatever you want. Okay. But it is them coming to you for healing, for guidance, for knowledge, for wisdom. I'm hearing for intrigue, which is, what does it mean? Intrigue, inspiration. Oh, okay. They're coming to you for inspiration. They're coming to you to like get ideas. This could be even just random people, like on a smaller scale. I mean, you will have this larger scale that I mentioned, but say you're at the grocery store or something, you're checking out, and like people want to talk to you and people want to be up near you, or they want to kind of touch you or be in contact with you, and they don't know why. They're just sort of taking from your energy in whatever way they can, because it's uplifting them, it's healing them, it's intriguing them. Okay, they're intrigued. People may be staring at you more. Babies may be staring at you more. Animals may be staring at you more. Kids gawking at you. It's like, huh. Whenever you notice patterns like that, you're really radiating something special. And you don't have to necessarily do a lot with this in the time frame that I was mentioning, but you should be observing that they're coming and that they want more out of you. And anything you've been thinking of doing more with your wisdom, with your healing abilities, with your outreach, know that this would certainly be the time to start getting it organized, to make yourself available, to say to people, you can come here to receive, this healing that I'm offering. They have to be able to find you. Okay. So I feel like this is an amazing adventure for you. And I think that you're a prime example of what happens, not what can happen, what happens, okay, with guarantee, when you do the work. And you did, and it wasn't easy. Kudos. All right. Do we have any other ones coming in? Love and Beloved, this is feedback. Love and Beloved said, thank you. You spoke of a cat named Oreo. Yes. Okay. This one I remember. I remember seeing Oreo like 3 times in the reading until I gave in. You spoke of a cat named Oreo coming through, and Oreo is truly a cat friend of ours who has passed. Okay. So Oreo is real, like a literal cat, and symbolic. This message was helpful. Encouragement for my strong self, who is ready to queen up. I love that. How cute. I am sure you'll be seeing Oreo in a dream. Probably tonight or tomorrow. Adorable. Melissa is also just giving some feedback here. Said, wow, thank you so much, Ivy and Spirit. Yes, it is very hard for me to take a compliment, but I shall be working on it. Me too, Melissa. I feel you. You're beautiful. Let's make it weird. Love and Beloved 5497 says, thank you, Ivy. I sent a testimony of your accuracy a few minutes ago. Your work is right on. You're so sweet. Thank you so much. I'm going to start screenshotting these testimonies, and I'm going to start running them as little advertisements for the shows. I decided. I started collecting them last week. I really do appreciate them, you guys. Let's see what else is coming up here. Angela Raven 2816 says, months, more like years. I've had dreams I was in the back seat of a car. Ooh. I just want to talk about that real quick. Okay, because we all have this from time to time. When she has been having dreams for years that she was in the back seat of a car, okay? This can also be you in the passenger side of a car. This could be you outside of a car. This could be you getting into a car and then not having the freaking key, or the engine being broke, or the tires being flat, or the car driving backward. There are a million different ways, but typically it is you being in the vehicle and in the back seat. General message, collective message for tonight. You need to look at a couple key things. Who's driving that car? Who else is in the front seat? Okay. These are people, situations that you have given your power up to. You have, however this dream comes through, decided repeatedly that you're not going to take your power back. And even when you did, you didn't hold the line. Okay. So it's time to take your power back. Those dreams are so significant wake up calls, deadlines, timelines. Okay. The universe screaming at you that it's time. So Angela says, I kept feeling like I was choking as well, but it was spirit, I think. Okay. Yeah. And anytime you feel like you're choking, you're either right next to someone who has a closed throat chakra, someone who's having their throat attacked, or, yeah, you're picking up on somebody being shut down. Miami Heat says, thank you, Ivy and Spirit. Awesome message. I'm actually starting the phase of a cold and the number 3. I actually saw myself drawing 3 lines with 3 fingers on sand earlier, just a random vision that came. Oh, really interesting. Okay, I'm going to have to go back and listen to your reading. But yeah, that 3 is also, I don't know if I said this to you or not, but 3 is also the Trinity, right? It's divinity. You could say that it's your higher mind, okay, spirit, and like your life contract, God energy living within you. It is exactly where you're supposed to be. It's a big deal. Miami Heat said earlier in the day today, it was so funny you mentioned you. I'm like, wow. Oh, that was earlier today. Okay, very cool. Yeah, that's crazy. That's wild. Jess said, thank you, Ivy. I just started a new job. And was able to get a title bump above what they offered initially. And the sign-on bonus has been hitting, as has the congrats from my people. Yay. Okay, beautiful, Jess. Payout, payout, payout. I love to see it. Okay, good. You were the last reading I did. So that's because you did the hard work. Now you're seeing the payouts. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. The universe takes its time and things take a lot longer than we would like. But when the payouts come, they keep coming and they are big. We have another one here from Michael Moreno. Okay, Michael Moreno. She's laying in her catnip spray spot right now. What you doing? What you doing? You soaking it up? Michael Moreno. What's the most important thing for Michael to hear at this time? Get everybody off the bus. Get everybody off the bus. I don't know if you've been feeling a little bit like you're on the struggle bus. You've been going through a period of time, I'm hearing 2 to 3 months, where you're kind of like, okay, like that's enough. Are we there yet? Where things aren't moving maybe at the speed you want. You're not getting the payouts in as big payout as you want. There is this sense of also having to drive this bus, this like struggle bus. It's like, I'm, also the president. It's like, I'm going to drive this bus. I'm going to let a whole bunch of other people on here, that are on the struggle bus, that are struggling. I feel like you have taken on a role in your life where it's wonderful to help people. It's wonderful to be a team player. It's wonderful to participate or, prove that you're a good worker. But at some point you may have to clear all this out and just be like, look, these people are going to have to stand on their own 2 feet. They're going to have to earn it. They are weighing me down. I think what's interesting about this is you seem to be entering into a period of time. Now it's up to you, but this is what I would highly recommend. Just get off the bus entirely. I would just leave the bus. I would just ditch it right there in the middle of, someone else could take it over. I'm sure someone would be happy to have it. They don't know any better. But I think that you're done. It's like, I'm done with the struggle. I'm done doing stuff for other people or overreaching or tolerating things that are below me. I'm done taking on other people's energy. I'm through. This is a bit of a wake-up call that you have been dealing with circumstances and people who aren't doing their best, right? So it's one thing to assist someone else, A, when you're called to do it, and B, when they're doing the best they can. It's a whole entire other beast when you have no business getting involved, okay? Because these things aren't true. They're not high vibrational enough. I think what you're also supposed to be doing right now is redirecting. It's almost like, I have these skills, I have this knowledge, I have this talent, these tools. You're coming up as also having the engineer's mind, which is an ability to understand how systems fit together. So this could be technology, this can be musical, this can be electrical. This could be groups of people, systems, any type of systems. Okay. So you understand how systems fit together. It's almost like you're looking back at like your training, your education, previous trainings, tools, titles, and you're marrying all of that with this engineer's mind that came from, I want to say, down 3 different people in your family, in your bloodline, where they all were successful utilizing it. And you're saying, I'm going to come at this another way. Okay. I'm just going to sort of skirt around this bus that I ditched in the middle of traffic. I'm just going to go right around it. And I'm just going to start something brand new. And I see you picking up this bag as well and being like, I just got to hike a little ways down this way. I see you walking confidently down the middle of the road. It's almost like a movie, when they do movies in New York, it's like they shut down a street and it's like phenomenal to watch, actually, right? There's like no traffic, no one's bothering you. You're just walking straight down the middle of this street. The idea of picking up a backpack is also like, you've been going through some rough times the last 2 to 3 years. Like you've gotten hit 2 of one thing, 1 of another. You're just kind of picking up your baggage. You're being like, I'm not waiting on this to feel better or go away or whatever. I'm just putting it on my back. I'm going to go. I'm just going to carry it and keep going. So this recreation is power for you. This moving on is power for you. This not haggling and finagling and talking to these people or situations that are, just ditch them. Just ditch them entirely and go. This is very exciting for you, but it is a brand new beginning. It is off to a new day. Okay. Kind of walking off into the sunset of possibilities here. And I feel you're fairly emotionless about it, which can mean, you've cried all your tears. You've had all the stress. You're beyond that now. Okay. And that's how you need to be. A little numb. Just move forward for now. Thank you. We have Marshave 3354 became a YouTube member. Welcome. Marshave, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, if you guys want to become a YouTube member for all types of perks, monthly horoscopes, email reads, exclusive Ask Ivy shows, a monthly mini class, weekly messages, and more, you can go onto my YouTube at Ask Ivy the Medium and hit the join button to see your 3 different tiers of membership options. All right, we have another one here, Tiffany Williams. Tiffany Williams, what is the most important thing for Tiffany to hear at this time? I hear, don't waste your breath. Don't waste your breath. Don't bite off more than you can chew. And it's almost like don't eat rotten food or don't accept the crumbs. So there is a situation coming in here, and this may be going on literally right now or even in the last 48 hours. I mean, I'm really here in present timeline, but I am talking about how this would best be handled going forward. It's like someone's trying to give you a carrot and you're looking at it and you're like, yeah, normally I would have accepted that, or I would have said like, thank you, or I would have eaten it. But you're looking at it and you're like, ew, it's kind of rotten, or it's gross, or it's dried out. You ever leave a bag of those baby carrots open and it's like, they turn to rubber and they're just kind of gross. Like if you don't eat them right away, and it's like, who gave you this crumb? I'm like offended by this carrot, I think this is you looking at it and being like, don't give me. And here they are eating the good carrots, that's the thing. It's like, they're pretending like they gave you some magnificent feast and they gave you this shriveled up, right, crusty, dusty carrot. And I see you sort of letting them know that you're not going to do more for them anymore. Like, I'm not going to, because this idea here of you not biting off more than you can chew, okay, is how Spirit put it. Tell her not to bite off more than she can chew. That means don't give in to old habits where, let's say, for example, an employer, because you may be getting this from all angles, where an employer puts more work on you, but they don't give you a title raise. They don't give you a monetary raise. They don't give you an expansion opportunity or raise. They're just expecting you to do more work, essentially for free. This could also come through family dynamics where people have decided that because you just do it all, because you are the loving giver, they're just going to consume, drain, and take. And they're becoming vampires. Okay. But they never pour back into you. And they're more than capable of doing things themselves. This could be in a love partnership, for example, where maybe your lover has weaponized incompetence. They feel entitled and privileged to your free labor due to the patriarchy and that you were raised to do it. So you may as well do it. They try to act like they're not doing it, like they're not extracting from you in a predatory way. This could come through a bunch of different environments in your life right now where it's not necessarily looking that bad because everyone's been playing the part, including you, for so long, like it's okay. And you're realizing you're at the circus and you're starting to feel like a freaking clown. And you're like, I'm not eating this shriveled up, you know what I mean, dinosaur carrot. And it's like, I'm offended. I'm offended. How dare you even offer that to me? And instead of addressing the carrot, addressing whoever gave you the carrot, the fact that they have all the good carrots, nope, we're not even going to go there. We're not even going to go there. It's like instead, you're changing your behavior, which is the most brilliant thing you can possibly do in this situation. So the next time they ask for something, it's a no. It's a full sentence. It is a statement. It is a boundary line, and you hold the line. They can't cross it. You won't either. I feel extremely confident, almost to a point of arrogance, that you will do this. Okay. Not to say that you're being arrogant, but like I'm so confident that you are so confident that that is the right thing to do. You're almost arrogantly so confident. Okay. And I mean that in a good way, because that's what you need to set a new boundary with people and situations where you haven't in the past. You need a certain level of arrogance. Healthy ego, okay, is your best friend right now. And then someone seems to be coming at you and saying like, well, you better take this, or you better do this, or, you know, I'm gonna throw some elbows, or I'm gonna throw a temper tantrum or whatever. And you like bite their head off, you know, you kind of bite back. And you stop it immediately. You're like, nope. Not only did I set a boundary and I held the line, I will not be tolerating your nonsense. So don't come at me. Don't talk to me that way. I don't want to hear this. We're not doing this, you know, whatever it is. And it's like water off a duck's back. You're not letting it bother you. So this is really a whole new you. I'm very curious to see what this is going to lead to in the upcoming probably 8 months or so, because the payouts for this type of behavior tend to be pretty big. Okay. So let's get the last of that work done. Thank you, Tiffany. Is that my last one? Okay, we are at time. I just want to give a little reminder that you guys can tune in on Friday. So I will be back Friday for the yes or no question show, which you guys voted in for the 2026 show lineup. So you get to ask any type of question under the sun and just like kind of looking in a magic 8-ball. I'm going to tell you yes or no, but I'm also going to give you a little detail. Okay. So you understand why that's happening. And then we have on Sunday, the All Spirit Messages show, which you guys just ate up. And we have also added to the 2026 show lineup where I am channeling messages the entire time from your angels, your ancestors, your guides, your deceased pets, your past loved ones, whoever wants to come through for you. And you can also ask specific to hear from specific people. And both of those are going to be unlimited. Okay, so get your early questions in now. I will see you back here on Friday. In the meantime, if you need to book a reading, Ivy Rivera Psychic Medium.com. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Spirit. Have a great night, everyone.